Welcome to yet another episode of The Third Side. In today's podcast, we will be diving deep into the world of debt collection in banking. Did you know that even before the COVID crisis, the average collection rate was a mere 20%, the lowest it has been in a quarter century? But what if there was a way to flip the script? Today, we'll explore how shifting from a labor-intensive outbound model to a more productive analytics-driven approach can not only drive operational efficiency, but also enhance work skills to handle debt recovery in a way that is compassionate. So let's dive in and explore this urgent and important topic with our guest expert, Vithy. With an impressive career spanning 19 years, Vithy is a seasoned pro in the areas like data analytics, predictive modeling, operational excellence, as well as transition and transformation. He's particularly savvy in data sciences. So sit tight, you won't want to miss this great opportunity. Welcome, Vithy. Great to have you on our show.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me here.
So what's the deal with the current issues in the debt collection process according to you?
Great question. So the debt collection industry in the BFSA market is very critical to collections, right? And they are facing with a lot of challenges. One is about the inefficiency in the sub-optimized process. Second is on the lack of technology. The third one is the compliance, which they are kind of bound with a set of rules, lots of rules and regulations, which cannot be avoided at any point in time, right? And the fourth one is, most of all, is the customer satisfaction. You got to ensure that for any of the bank, it is their own customers, right? Who they will need to protect their data. They will need to kind of make sure that they are satisfied at all times, or else you tend to lose customers. That loses revenue. That brings in other problems, right? Now, along with this, in the last, I think, 3 to 4 years, we have had COVID-19. So COVID-19 has brought in its own challenges, ups and downs. It has increased digital lending, and it's also increased digital borrowing, and the same way, the digital collection process, right? Everything has come into this problem. So it could increase your revenue, but again, your collections goes down, right? So these are all challenges. You need to kind of go back and get the right information from the customers. And it's essential to kind of add the right technology. It's essential to add the right process without kind of compromising on any of the compliance factors, right? So having this process set right is utmost importance, and the debt collection business in itself has got a prime importance within the BFSI industry. So it has got to be looked at with a lot of digital care in the 21st century.
When it comes to collection, how do you make sure to approach it with empathy? Now, these two things do not go hand in hand, right? Empathy and collection. So how do you actually do it?
I think while we are starting here, the first thing to remember is we are dealing with people, right? And the second thing is their emotions and sentiment, right? How are we really capturing the right intent and the right emotion is essential in collections, right? Because it's the bank's own customers, and you do not want to lose them. It's coming back to the same point. So our solution in itself is a mix of structured and unstructured data, right? We kind of have the traditional approach of building the risk models by different aging buckets. We kind of go back, build all those risk models. And we have also introduced speech analytics, right? Speech analytics comes in its own way to kind of understand what is the intent of the collector, what is the intent of the customer, and also kind of understand the emotion which is happening over a call, right? The call might start negative and might end positive, or might start positive and negative. How does the emotion change? And how frequent these conversations are happening? So we have created a super variable where it would come back and give us an indication to say, what's happening over a call, and is that a positive customer, a negative customer, or a neutral customer? And we have clubbed this super variable coming out of the unstructured data into the structured predictive modeling, right, across different risk models, where you'd be able to kind of get different, very, very kind of, personalized, risks categories for all the customers. So it's essential for us to kind of use that information, and that's the information that all of these collection industry requires, right? And we're able to kind of go back and I think we've done it for a few banks. In one of the cases where we've kind of gone back and automated 75% of the quality parameters, and I think our quality scores improved by 21%. And overall collections, which is what the bank looks at the end of the day, without compromising on any of the compliance or without compromising on quality. You make sure all of these happens, and we've increased the collections by 3% year on year. I think it mounts to around 10 million year on year for every single bank. So it's important for us to kind of make sure that the empathy on the customer is handled along with our collectors as well. So it's both which go side by side.
Another thing that comes to my mind when we are talking about similar kind of scenarios or solutions is that with personalization, empathy, and customer connection being key, what's your take on meeting customer expectations as we look towards a 2025 and beyond?
So personalization, empathy, treating with respect are far more critical for all of our customers. I think I would expect to be treated. I would expect it to be treated well, and it's the same with anyone, right? So I think with the digital era, there's a lot of personalization which is happening, right? We kind of need to make sure that if we are to reach the customer at the right stage, at the right time, right, we will need information and insights, right? So anything happening in this current digital era is all with data. So it's important for us to read the data right. It's important for us to use it in the right manner, right, and build more information. So we could build a personalization strategy, right? How are we going to reach customers? When are we going to reach customers? Who is going to reach that customer, right? And at what time are we going to reach them? And what is the solution that we're going to provide to them? Again, this is all only around personalization, right? The next point could be around, we could also use AI to behave like humans. So we could kind of use AI-powered bots, which would obviously provide what is the settlement that's required. You would be able to kind of go back and say, okay, when do you want to do that? What is the mode that you want to do that? How do you want to do that? And all of that. Remember, not everyone likes talking to an agent. Not everyone likes talking to people. Not everyone likes to be chased. Again, there are different set of emotion, different set of personalizations. How are we going to deal with that, right? And the way how we change our treatment strategy across for multiple different set of customers, different set of people, different set of individuals is far important, and that helps you build relationship. So it's important for you to retain that customer, treat them with respect and dignity along with empathy. Because in this collections industry, it's always important that we are dealing with people who are facing financial challenges, right? So it's important that we respect their financial challenge, and it's also important to remind them at the right way of treatment or the right treatment, right? So all of these factors put together will kind of help us deal with the customer in the right manner and help us retain that customer and build our revenue over a long time.
That sounds wonderful. So how seamless is it to integrate your solutions into a bank's existing operations?
The solution is kind of designed seamlessly on top of the traditional method, where you use the rule-based categorization, and then you also use predictive analytics. And the only, the highlighting factor is bringing the unstructured data. So you're bringing the emotion over here, and you're bringing that solution of categorization. After that, it is more about automating a few tasks within the collection process, being able to bring that efficiency within that. And it is not really a separate solution which is more tricky to implement. It is more about have the process, make an optimization out of it, and try to see that you're following the right channel or an approach, right? And you're able to kind of go back and track the output at every single stage, right? Let's say for a collector, how are we really measuring that intent of that collector, and are we really passing that feedback and making that environment suitable for that collector, right? With the right set of ammunition in terms of the right set of tools, right set of information. Similarly, for a customer, if the customer is looking to kind of close the debt, are we kind of giving the right information? Are we kind of getting into a right settlement method? These are the things which would kind of get a lot of efficiencies for you in collections, right? They would also kind of lead to reduce the cost. They will also kind of lead to improve your performance and the overall revenue of it.
Thank you, Vithy, for such amazing insights. I'm sure that everybody would love as to what you said and you explained. This really kind of clarifies a lot of issues around collection and how, empathy can be inbuilt into the collection process. So I see analytics playing a very, very critical role. And I'm sure most of our listeners also kind of have started believing it and would take it back with them and implement it in situations and scenarios that they find themselves in.
Thanks a lot, Shatra. Thanks for having me here. And I think it's the debt collection industry has gone through a lot of upgradations over the last few years, right? And this has been always closer. I think I've been doing this collections for a longer time. Either let's say a B2B collections or a B2C collections. All of these changes happen every time, right? So we kind of get to a digital era. So it's more important that we keep upgrading ourselves with the latest technology and the latest information, and feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much once again. And for our listeners, we will catch up again next week, same time, on the third site, doing something more interesting and talking about a new theme and a new subject which is of interest to you in the space of technology. Till then, take care. Goodbye.
Thank you.